Hey, this is Oli from All That Remains, and I would like to do an anatomy of a solo, and I'm going to pick one off our latest disc, The Order of Things, and the song is called Pernicious. So here's the backing track. Okay, so I'm going to go through this solo, one lick at a time, and kind of give you a brief rundown of how I came up with the lick and what I was thinking and the direction I want to take things in. So the first lick that I'm going to play is kind of taken from the main theme of the song, which is this. And if we break that melody down to single notes, it sounds like this. So the opening part of the solo, I take that and I cut that in half. And then I play a little scale passage, and then I repeat the same lick over the A chord. So stylistically, I'm already borrowing from material that we have heard before. So I do that all the time with my solos because it gives it a sense of cohesion, and it means I can think of less stuff to write, which is always good. So here is the first lick of a solo played halftime. Now here it is up the tempo. So there it was, just an arpeggio from the theme, stressing the F sharp, which is the ninth, and building up to the next arpeggio over the A chord. And here's the next lick, and this one is kind of an arpeggio in itself, and this is going to be 16th notes like the other one. So here it is a little bit slower. So I'm connecting a C major 7 arpeggio with an E minor 7 arpeggio. Like in the previous lessons, going by a third creates good things. Experiment with it. And if you notice, I threw in a little chromatic passing tone in there. Kind of be considered the blue note, and I put that on the beat, which creates a little bit more tension than being off the beat, and I thought it was cool. And my favorite part of this is the end when I play the F natural, because this is what's called an enclosure. And I'm really stressing that chromatic note, and it sounds a little bit jarring, but again, it resolves on the F sharp, just like I did before. So I'm trying to create one note to put in your head to say, okay. That's where he's going with that. Just that one note. In this case, it's the F sharp. So here it is up the tempo. Okay, the third lick of this solo, after coming off of that long held vibrato, I decided I wanted to introduce a different rhythmic value. I wanted to have triplets in there because the rhythm was... And, I think it just needed a little bit of variety. And the way I came up with this, I was actually improvising, and I had a triplet thing already, and I just wasn't happy with it. And I just played a very simple melody that was something like this. And I was like, what if I took that melody and applied triplets to it, but did some kind of a wacky pattern that sounded kind of techy, but had the crux of that in there, and I came up with this. In this one, I will demonstrate halftime first. And now up to tempo. Now for the halfway point of the solo, the rhythm is a little bit busier. And directionally, I had these 16th note phrases followed by a triplet phrase. So I wanted to kind of wind it down, and I didn't want to compete with the rhythm, so I just did this huge, just sustained note with a harmonic. The best way to do this, if you really want it to sound good, is you want to make sure that your first finger is muting all the other strings. Otherwise, it's going to be a wicked mess like this. And you won't be able to get enough torque for the bend, and people will throw stuff at you, and it's not good. But anyway, this long-held note, I think, is a nice kind of a halfway cadence, with the busy rhythm. I like to have a divergence. I don't want to be playing exactly what the drums are playing all the time, because it's, just more interesting that way. Okay, so the second half of the solo, you might recognize the lick I was doing in the last 4 lessons, but this time I apply it in a chromatic way. And it's kind of a little bit of a kind of a jazz bebop lick, and it goes like this. So you notice here that, again, what note do I stress? I stress the F sharp, because that's what we do in this solo. We want to provide that familiar note to your ears, when it's appropriate. And now here it is up to speed. Okay, so after that I decided that, well, we got all these cool 16th licks. We have the triplet lick. At some point we have to get back to our theme that we started with. So I said, well, why don't we build up to that, utilizing kind of a harmony, a fast picking thing. Very simple idea, and it's like this. And then what I do with the solos, I provide a short pause, the whole band stops, and it's a very dramatic effect. Anytime you have silence, it sometimes has more weight to it than actually playing, especially after the stream of notes that I've been doing. And I remember when I came to the band with this idea, and I had the rhythm in my head, and I showed it to them, and I played the solo. They're like, wow, you've had that solo for a while, and we didn't really think much of it until you showed us the rhythm and how it combined. And it's something that, we've all kind of learned together, that little pauses sometimes are really, really cool effect. So here's the run I just did with the harmony. That's coming up next. So that little harmonized lick there, the lower part is, which of course taken right from the song. Again, I'm lazy. I like to recycle stuff. And it's just a really effective part, and there's a big stop there, and it just really highlighting the song. So after that, again, the F sharp, big bend. And the lick I played earlier, the triplet lick, I decided it was so nice, I'm going to play it twice, but this time up the octave. So here that is, played halftime. Now up to speed. And the last lick of the song, since it's over that same busy rhythm, I wanted to do something that was rhythmically a little more laid back, and I think I improvised this at some point, and I just stuck with it. And I can remember trying to find the perfect timing for that last note, and it just, once I felt it, it was great. Again, the importance of recording your ideas and listening to it I didn't think about the theory of it. I said, look, where does that feel the best? And that's just where it ended up.